Okay, thank you for joining us for tonight's Horse Business Marketing Weekly Office Hours, which is brought to you by Kristina Derby Consulting and Dark Horse VA. We are going to talk tonight about organic versus paid promotion and try to figure out which one is better. For those who don't know, I'm Tina Derby and I own Kristina Derby Consulting in Ocala, Florida, and I'm here with Chris Allen, my colleague who owns Dark Horse VA, and that is based in Arnold, Missouri. And Chris and I offer various marketing services for horse businesses, including website design, ad creation and management, email campaign development, budgeting and business plan development, appointment setting and customer follow-up, pitch deck creation, and assistance with capital raises from private investors. That's something I do. And Chris also offers Go High Level CRMs, which is customer relationship management tools. It's actually an entire suite of customer relationship management and email marketing and funnels and websites. So it's kind of everything you need to run your company all in one package for all the marketing, anyhow, marketing and customer support. So, two primary types of promotion. We have organic promotion and paid. Organic is an effective way to attract customers over a long period of time. And I do stress, typically takes a long time to get it going. Does not usually happen very quickly. This is built through content creation, engagement with people who are potential customers, and building of relationships with them. And as I mentioned, it takes a longer time to take effect usually than paid promotion, but it is wonderful at building credibility and trust. Now, paid promotion costs money, not necessarily much money, but it does cost some money. But you can get in front of thousands or millions of people very quickly. And when I say very quickly, I mean like within a week, a month, depends on how much you spend on your ads, but like it can happen very quickly. So this can allow you to target also very specific audiences based on things like age, location, interests. And this is wonderful. It's really wonderful for any company because pretty much any company wants to target their marketing at some particular cohort. But let's say you have a riding lesson program, then you're going to want to target your marketing to people within, let's say, 30 miles of your farm, right? So that's location based. And if you are offering, let's say, riding lessons for just kids, then that would be something based on the age. Although actually you really advertise to the parents of the kids, but you don't advertise directly to kids. But nonetheless, or you might offer something like a sip and ride, and then that's based on anybody age 21 plus. Can't advertise that to anybody under 21 in this country. So paid advertising is wonderful for targeting very specific audiences. And paid advertising typically will, or paid promotion, paid advertising, same thing, will typically provide you very immediate results and visibility. So I've actually many times seen ads turn on one day and by the next day you're already getting customers. So it can happen that fast. Again, there's a little bit of a cost involved, but with like Google ads and Facebook ads, the cost is not tremendous. You can spend as little as like $5 or $10 a day and get results from that. So it can be quite affordable. Examples of organic promotion. So things like social media, posting on your timeline, posting on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, those kinds of things where you're not paying to post, you're just posting for free. Those are all organic promotions. Blog posts where you put, let's say, a blog on your website, and you can put up educational articles about things like horse care, training, tack and equipment, etc. It doesn't have to be educational articles, although a lot of times it is. It can be videos. People love videos. You can put videos in a blog. And it doesn't have to be educational. Maybe it's something that's inspirational, or, how somebody overcame their fear of the crowds by learning to show horses or something like that, right? So it could be all kinds of things like that. But anyhow, it's content you put on to your it usually goes on your website if you have a blog. Search engine optimization. So that is where you optimize your content to get more website traffic. So traffic to your website, and you optimize the content on your website using keywords and talking about specific topics. Like if you had a riding lesson program, you would talk about things like how to get started riding horses, how to pick a good riding instructor, should you be riding on a pony or a horse, right? Depends on the size of the person, et cetera, et cetera. So all those kinds of things would do well as content to help you with search engine optimization, because you're going to optimize for whatever kind of traffic you want. If you, let's say, have show horses, it's going to be very different content you're going to use to optimize your website, because you're looking for different traffic. So then you're going to talk about how to import a horse from Europe, or what's the best breed for show jumping, or what's the best breed for reining, right? Whatever it is you do, you're going to use content on your website to optimize and get traffic for the kind of people you want to get there. GEO is generative engine optimization. So that's a new thing. It's very similar to SEO, but it's really targeting content for AI driven search. So like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Claude AI, those kinds of things. So it's similar in the way it works with SEO, but it is a little different. But it is free. It's free traffic. It not traffic, because you're not actually typically sending people to your site, but it's free promotion for you. Because if you come up as a website mentioned in a search that somebody does on ChatGPT, or asking Chat a question, right? What are the best horse farms for kids in the greater New York City area, right? Then Chat might, if you have good content on your site, Chat might pull your site as one of the ones that they recommend. So now you're optimizing for the search engines really, rather than the end customer directly. Word of mouth doesn't cost anything. Well, cost something to get to be good enough to get word of mouth, but word of mouth is, you're not paying somebody every time that they recommend you. So that is an example of organic promotion and customer referrals. Now, one thing, if you're in business for a while, 6 months, a year, whatever, and you're not starting to get a lot of word of mouth or customer referrals, it's probably an indication that you need to work on improving your product or service, because that should be a large part of how you grow your business, is by people recommending your business to other people that they know, your current customers and people that know you and like you. So if you're not getting that, you probably want to take a step back and say, maybe I need to make some tweaks to what I'm doing with my company, because I probably need to make some improvements somewhere, because you should start seeing a lot of that. You have to be going for a while before that happens. But if you're a year into it and you're not getting referrals and whatnot, then there might be something to consider. It might be improvements that need to be made. Email marketing is wonderful. You definitely want to be doing that. You also wanted to be doing SMS marketing, which is text messaging. Now, email, you can do that very often. There are companies that literally send several emails a day. I'm not recommending you necessarily do that, but certainly weekly or monthly, no less than monthly, to be honest. You at least want to do it once a month, but weekly is good. And you could even go daily if you had somebody that really enjoyed, creating content. Now, the caveat to that is you have to send out emails that are really interesting to people. It's not about just sending out an email that is promoting your products and services and horses and, saying, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. It is not that. If you do that, people will just unsubscribe. They won't open your emails. It'd be pointless. So you have to put out good, interesting content that people enjoy receiving and reading and is helpful to them in some way, or inspirational or funny or whatever it is. But it can't just be promotional, trying to, make people buy your stuff. Basically, a good rule of thumb is, let's say you send out 10 emails, 9 of those should have content that is very focused on being helpful, educational, that kind of thing. You could have 1 email out of 9 that is more focused on being promotional. Okay, we're having a sale or we're having an event, come to the event. Here we're selling this particular horse. So basically you want to stick very heavily with stuff that's not promotional. Partnerships. So partnerships are wonderful if you have other companies in your town, like let's say a winery can be a wonderful partner for a horse farm, especially if you do sip and rides. That's the perfect partner for that sort of event. You could partner with a restaurant. You could partner with publications. You could partner with hospitals, with libraries, with historical society. I've actually had an amazing partnership with a historical society, got clients out of that. So you can partner with pretty much any organization that sells or provides services to the types of people that would be interested in what you have to sell. And so sort of, think about that and talk to different organizations in your area and see who's interested in a partnership, because that can give you very instant access to their audience, to their customers. And that can give you actually pretty quick sales as well. It can be really effective, really fast. Examples of paid promotion would include things like Facebook and Instagram ads. And these are wonderful, especially if you want to target local horse owners or people near your farm or your business that love horses. So let's say you have a riding school, a riding academy. You can run an ad where you're promoting your farm to people within 20 miles of your location. And we do those all the time for customers, and those are massively successful. We also do ads promoting things like sip and ride events, which are spectacularly successful. You get leads at incredibly affordable prices running sip and ride events. People love those. You can get customers from those. If you're not doing sip and rides, you probably should be. They're really, really, really successful events. Really effective at getting new customers. Google ads are also wonderful. Those are great because they show up when people are particularly searching for something. So they're in the market, they're ready to buy, or at least they're very seriously looking for something. And so you will run those for things like riding lessons, summer camps, horses for sale. Those are all things that people search on. And those are great to run ads for those kinds of things. Sponsored posts, paying influencers to promote you. So you've heard of probably influencer marketing. That's a big thing nowadays. And you can pay to have people talk about you on their TikTok or on their Instagram or whatever, and that can promote your product or service to their audience. Affiliate marketing, that is where you have businesses or individuals that go and promote your product or service, and you give them a commission every time they help you get a sale. And you do that by giving them a link that's unique to them. And so they'll use that. Let's say they'll do a post on YouTube about, let's say you're a tack shop, and they'll do a post about their favorite types of saddles. And then they say, okay, well, if you use this link that I have, down below my video, and use that, you can get 10% off the purchase of a saddle at such and such tack shop. And then when that purchase is made, the affiliate ends up getting a commission off of the sale. So the nice thing about affiliate marketing is that while you do pay for that, you don't pay until you make a sale. So it's pretty cost effective, and it can be very successful when you get some good affiliates. So pros and cons of organic promotion. So pros, of course, are that it's basically free, or it's certainly very low cost because you're not paying to advertise. Now you do have to pay to make the content, either in your own time or somebody's time, or money to, pay someone to help make it. But usually it's pretty affordable. And it's also excellent at building long-term relationships and credibility. So, and that's typically, if, again, don't be promotional with it. Don't try to just use organic content to sell people things directly. Think about it more as you're going to use it to build a relationship with people, and think about it long term, and think about giving them lots of value. Don't think of like, okay, I'm just going to post all my horses for sale. That's not the best way to use organic content, organic promotion. You want to put out content that's going to be helpful and interesting and inspirational, funny. Again, people love comics, anything like that. But it's not just about sell, sell, sell. Eventually, yeah, you do want to sell, but it's not about like selling immediately transactional. It's about giving people something that they're really going to find enjoyable or helpful or whatever. Cons with organic promotion is that, again, it's slow results. So it usually, not always, but most of the time, takes quite a long time, as in months or even years, before you see significant results. So it's wonderful, and we love it, but you're not going to expect to get sales, in 30 days or 60 days. Typically doesn't usually work that fast. It can sometimes, but not usually. It is harder and almost impossible, frankly, to scale it quickly. So scaling means just growing it really quickly. So if you find something that works, let's say you put up a post and it gets a lot of people that like it, it's hard to then put up another post and repeat the process and get in front of thousands, well, even hundreds or thousands of people very quickly. It just doesn't usually work that way. And again, sometimes it does, but not typically. So, pros and cons of paid promotion. So pros are you get really fast results if you do it right and if it's effective. So there's some caveats to that. You have to do a good job creating your ads, and you also have to have a really good offer. So, but if you have those things, it can literally bring you lots of business overnight. I've seen it happen way more than once. So that's one of the big pros of it. You could also be highly targeted with it. So you can make very, very specific videos or ads. It could be an image ad, could be video ad, whatever. And if you show it to the right people, it can be very effective. And using paid ads, particularly like on Facebook or Google, you can really get your ads in front of the right people very quickly. Those platforms are that's what they're made to do, and they're great at it. It's also very scalable. So when you find something that works, you find an ad that people really resonate with, you can start putting more money into it, and you can very quickly grow your business, get a lot more customers within weeks, days. It can happen really fast. The cons, of course, are that it costs money up front. So you have to have a little bit of money. It doesn't cost a lot of money usually to get started, but at least $5 a day, preferably $10 a day to start. There's companies that spend thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars a day. So, if you're spending $10 or $20 a day, it's definitely not a huge amount. But, but maybe for you, it's a huge amount. But you can start with really as little as like $5 a day. I mean, you could technically start with less than that, but most of the times you're going to want to start with at least $5 a day, preferably 10, preferably 20. The more, the better. But you can do a really great job. I've certainly seen companies grow tremendously with spending just $10 a day. But you have to have the right strategy system, like you need to know what to advertise. So like one of the best things to advertise is the Sip and Ride program, which I talk about them all the time, but only because they're so effective. Sip and Ride, you can get leads for under $2 a lead, which is really spectacular. They're the least expensive leads that I've seen anybody get so far, advertising anything horse related. Let's see. So cons of paid promotion definitely requires testing and optimization, which this takes time and skill. So either you have to take the time to learn it, which is not by any means impossible. People learn it all the time. But to learn it, that takes a lot of time. So if you don't have a lot of time or the interest in learning how to be good at paid ads, then you definitely, I think, want to hire a professional to help. You could spend a lot of money and waste a lot of money trying to run ads yourself if you don't know what you're doing. It's like somebody giving you a horse and saying, okay, now train it. And if you don't know what you're doing with that horse, it's not going to end well. So, if you're going to run paid ads, I love paid ads. They're spectacular, but find somebody that can really help you, that's a professional, or take the time to take some good courses and learn how to do it yourself. But like spend the time. Don't just start running paid ads not knowing what you're doing, because that's probably going to waste a lot of money if you do that. If you stop paying with paid ads, obviously your traffic's going to slow down or stop. You'll still get some traffic trickling in for a while after you stop ads usually, but eventually it will stop. And if you stop posting with organic, eventually that'll typically stop too, unless you have something like YouTube videos that what we call evergreen. So they just kind of keep going and going. But, if you're running paid ads and then you stop running paid ads, you'll see a huge drop off in your traffic. So, it doesn't have a long tail typically of traffic. It's really just traffic while you're paying for the ads. So some things to consider when you're thinking about paid versus organic promotion. Budget. So can you invest money up front? If you can, paid ads will work well for you. But if you have no money to invest up front, then you have to go with organic, right? Because paid ads, you've got to pay for them. Time frame. So do you need or want immediate sales? If you do, then you're really going to want to focus on paid ads. And I've seen people like to get the money to start running paid ads for their farm or any other kind of business, but in particular farms, like have a yard sale to come up with $50 or $100 to start running paid ads, doing whatever you have to do to get, to kind of scrape together that money. And you don't need it, again, you don't need a ton, but you do have to come up with some money for paying for the ads. Now, you don't typically, you're not going to pay upfront, like Facebook doesn't make you pay $50 before they run your ads, but you do have to put like a credit card on file. So, then they'll run your ads for a little bit, for like a couple days, and then they're going to charge your card. So you may have a little bit of time in there where you don't actually have paid money out of pocket, but they'll charge you pretty quickly because they don't know you. You don't have a history with them yet. So, you won't have a lot of time before you have to pay. So basically, I guess what I'm trying to say with that is you'll need to have a little bit of money in your pocket in order to get those ads going. Skill level, as I mentioned before, you really need skills to run either paid or organic. Like most things, takes some amount of skill. It takes a fair amount of skill. It takes a pretty good amount of skill to run paid ads correctly. I think you can create organic ads, or organic content rather, with less skill, and you can just sort of learn as you go, because you're not going to have all that out-of-pocket expense that you would have with paid ads. So organic is excellent for sort of slowly building up and learning as you go and getting better and better and honing your craft. Whereas if you try to do that with paid ads, you're going to put so much money out of pocket that I think that it would be somewhat painful and probably not the smartest use of your money. So I would definitely, again, I would get somebody that either is an expert running paid ads or, have some sort of a mentor that you pay. There's some really great programs out there where people will mentor you, or they have courses that teach you how to run paid ads. So that would be the way to go with that. What is the best approach? So what's better? Organic promotion or paid promotion? Well, typically it's an actual mix of both. You want to do both. And most companies that do good marketing or do well with their marketing, they use a combination of both. So that's I think been a tried and true and a proven way of doing good marketing. So paid ads, you want to use paid ads again for quick results and targeting specific audiences and doing so quickly. Organic is wonderful long-term growth for building trust and relationships. And if you put content on YouTube, then it's a great way to have evergreen content that will get seen a lot for a long time. Now, when you put content on Facebook, it gets seen maybe a lot, or TikTok, but it doesn't get seen for a long time. It kind of comes and goes, and then it gets replaced with other content. On YouTube, if you put up a good video, people will watch it for years, and you can get a lot of exposure for years and years. So that's the difference between like YouTube organic content and things like TikTok or Facebook or Instagram. Instagram a little bit, well, Facebook a little bit, but YouTube's particularly good at having evergreen content where people are just it's gonna get shown when they search or shown in their suggested videos and stuff. So YouTube's good for that. Example of a hybrid strategy. So hybrid in that you're using both paid and unpaid organic content. So for the paid, you could run Facebook ads to get a quick win when you're selling lessons, selling camps, promoting events like sip and rides, ice cream socials, farm tours, those kinds of things. Facebook ads just work so well. We use those all the time for clients, and they're just great. They really work well. Now, granted, we've done hundreds and hundreds of them, maybe thousands of them probably by now. And so we've really honed in on what works well for horse farms in particular, because we've done so many of them. So that's part of why ours work so well, because we've gone through the process of learning what works really well. And so that's something that if people wanted some ideas on that or whatnot, feel free to give me a call or message me. And actually I can, at some point, I'll do some more training on that, because we do have some ways of advertising that work, they just work almost every single time. And let's see, for paid. So yeah, so you run some Facebook ads. You also, when you're running ads, you want to collect emails from your ads, and using lead magnets is a great way to do that. Lead magnet is something like, let's say, a checklist of the 10 things to look for when you're trying to get a new riding instructor for your child, or 10 things to consider when purchasing a horse from Europe. It doesn't have to be a checklist. It could be a diagram. It could be a chart. Could be an article. So all kinds of things. Could be a video. So a lead magnet, anything that would be valuable to somebody and would make them want to give you their information, like their name and their email, that kind of thing. So you always want to collect emails, and I think phone numbers too, whenever you're doing advertising. And then you want to also follow up with email newsletters. Those are extremely effective and very, very affordable. And so that's sort of a combination right there of paid ads and then email newsletters, which are organic. You have a little bit of an expense. So there's a small expense to email marketing, but it's very insignificant compared to like running ads. Organic content would be posting how-tos and behind the scene content on, let's say, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and that builds relationships and builds trust. So, and you want to post fairly often also, at least, let's say 3 times a week, more if you can, but in the very, very minimal 3 times a week. And you don't have to post on like all the different platforms. You could start out just posting on Facebook and sort of get yourself a system of creating content and posting content and just get that going. And then you could start adding on other platforms as you get comfortable and good at the one platform. So just start with one and then, add on as you can. But at least 3 times a week is reasonable to expect. And it doesn't have to be big, you're not going to write a novel. Let's say it's a post, right? Something inspirational, or here's, some tips and tricks or whatever. Next step. So if you are going to look at doing organic content, you want to post consistently, as I was saying, several times each week. Starting with Facebook is usually good. And then as you get that system in place, then you could look at going on to Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube as well. And you can post on Twitter. I don't think there's not a ton of horse activity on there, but it's not going to hurt if you like posting on Twitter or X. It's X now. It's not Twitter anymore, but it used to be called Twitter. Anyhow, starting a monthly email newsletter. We love newsletters. They're super effective, and you definitely want to do those at least monthly. You could do it weekly if you've got the time and you like doing that. Just be really sure not to be super promotional in it. You want to make it educational, helpful, inspirational, that kind of thing. It's not about just sort of trying to shove your products and services down everybody's throats. Don't do that. And because it won't work, they'll just unsubscribe, and then, you'll have wasted all the money getting their email address in the first place. Create a Google business profile. Most businesses have these already. That seems to be pretty standard, which is good. But if you don't have one, you definitely want to get one. And encourage reviews and referrals from people. And you want to get reviews on Google and Facebook. And if you have, like, let's say LinkedIn, which again, it's not much of a horse community on LinkedIn, but doesn't hurt to put posts up there also. So that would be another place you could get reviews. They don't call them reviews on LinkedIn. They call them something else, I think recommendations or something. Anyhow, but it's the same idea. So anytime you can get those, that's good. You could also go on Yelp, and again, not a lot of people use Yelp, but people still use Yelp for some things. So it doesn't hurt to have a Yelp page and to get reviews and whatnot on there. Oh, let's see. Paid content. So you want to set a budget. I would say if you can do at least $10 a day, that's going to get you enough response and results that feels worthwhile. But if you can only come up with $5 a day, you can run $5 a day of Facebook ads. You can run less than that too, but you just it'll be very slow going if you are only paying $3 or $5 a day for ads. So if you can come up with $10 a day, I think you'll be pretty happy with the results. And obviously more is better. If you can come up with 20 or 50 or $100 a day, great, that's even better. But if you can shoot for at least $10 a day, that's wonderful. Start with one simple ad, such as book an introductory riding lesson, or come to our open house, or come to our sip and ride event, something like that. That can work very well. I've seen it work well. We do it all the time. I kind of guarantee that it works well, as long as you do it, the right way, which there's some nuance to creating effective ads and whatnot. And, but that's, again, that I'll do more training on that. And there's a lot of great training out there also on like YouTube and stuff, people that train on that. Targeting local horse lovers and parents of horse crazy kids. Those can be like really easy markets to sell to. So as you're creating ads, if you focus on those cohorts, that can usually pay really good dividends very quickly. With paid ads, you always want to be tracking the results and then adjusting the ads as needed. And that goes for anything really that's digital. You want to track the results, like literally in a spreadsheet, track the results, or, and you could use something other than a spreadsheet, but typically you'd use a spreadsheet for that. And then adjust as needed, because not every ad you create is going to be a winner. So, you put them out there and you see how they do, and you keep the good ones going and you turn off the bad ones, basically. That's the system. So it's once you understand the system, it's not hard. It's kind of like training horses. It's confusing as anything until you know how to do it. And then once you know how, you're like, okay, that's not all that difficult. It's not 100% easy all the time, but once you understand it, it obviously gets a lot easier. And yeah, and that's about it. So we'll continue to create more content and dive deeper into the things that, I was just talking about here. If anybody has questions, feel free to call me, 203-893-3365, or you can text me. And I also have email, of course, tina@kristinaderby.com. And every Monday night during the year 2025, we are doing free Zoom calls at 8 p.m. Eastern time and giving out more content like this for free. All kinds of content about marketing and horses, not horse training, but like marketing horses or horse programs or tack shops or, anything, e-commerce stores, any kinds of things like that that are related to horses. We will discuss that. And we're available to like answer questions during this too, these Zoom calls on Mondays. So if you have particular questions like, oh, I ran some ads and they didn't work, or hey, would you take a look at my ads and tell me what you think, or whatever, right? Just feel free to come on the meeting and we will answer questions. So hope that's helpful, and hopefully we will talk to you again soon. Thanks.